Hi, it's Pam, the PJ Stitcher, and I'm here today with our editor-in-chief.
Hi,
Hi, it's Eddie, and
Jack, my brother, is here. Hi.
Jack's had a rough day. He got sick in the middle of the night, so he's sitting over here. He's cold, but he wanted to be in our video and say hi to everyone. So it's really been fun after my first Flosstube. I want to thank everybody for all the kind words and all the suggestions and for just helping me and supporting me, all my subscribers. And it's really addictive to be a Flosstuber. There's a lot of preparation. I realized I needed more than one whip, so that was really fun, starting a bunch of projects. Are you tired, Jack? And it's just been a really good time. So we've spent all day getting ready for you to show everything. So let's begin. First, we want to show you, I promised I wanted some support to get my items fully finished. So I did it. I have a few. One of them is the September wordplay by Brenda Gervais.
I showed you this one last video.
I did. I showed you, yes.
And we had to send it off to the
So we had to send this off to the quilters to put in the basket for a drawing where each of us did a month. Most of them did applique quilting, but a friend of mine told me I should cross stitch. After I completed it, another friend said I should keep it, but I turned it in. And here's what the completed project looked like. Can you see that? So you really can't see from what I see the stitching, but you can see how I finished it. There's a little hanger on the back and it'll go on a stand. Mine's 12 by 12 and it's the September wordplay. Okay, I have a few more fully finished objects. I have Red, White, and Bloom by the Country Cottage Needleworks. I thought I better finish this so it's ready for next year. I work in the thrift shop and I found this frame. It had a little wool project in it and it was black. I painted it a dark blue, roughed it up and waxed it, and this fit in there perfectly. So I'm happy and I'm ready for next year. Thank you. And then I finished, this was by GW Designs, and it was the dolphin, and inside the dolphin are quite a few little things: seahorse, lighthouse, sailboats, fish. So I made it a pillow. This pillow is not totally finished. I want to put something around the outside, and I haven't finished the back. And then here's the other one that goes with it, the crab. And the crab has, I think it's 10, is that right? 10 fish inside. And I put it in the frame. And this is for my girlfriend. It's a late birthday gift. So I thought at her entrance to her new beach home, she could have the crab and the dolphin. And I made a pincushion. This one is by, I don't know how to really say it, Manigdadona. It's Italian, and you get all 4 of the seasons for the pincushion in one pattern. And I did fully finish this pincushion. I really like this. If I had been smart, I would have saved this for Bendy Stitchy Michelle's Stitch a Turkey that starts November 1st, because this was easy. And that's all my fully finished objects. So now I'm going to show you some objects, some things that I finished, but I haven't fully finished them. This is Hey Chick. Hey Chickie. And this is by Jen's Stitching Niche. and she designed this, and she has 3 floss from Gentle Arts that went with this. I remember one is called Buff Orpington. I remember that because we have buff chickens. So our neighbor watches her grandsons, and they ride on the tractor every day. They come over and they look for Henrietta, and they bring her Cheerios. So I'm going to finish this and give it to them, the Hey Chickie. Then I have Barbara Anna Design, Autumn. And I finished this a while ago, but I have not quite found the right frame. I think I found the right frame at Goodwill, and this is really silly. It was $7, and I'm used to my thrift store where everything is $2, and I didn't buy it. It was a vintage frame. I think it would have been perfect. I said something to my girlfriend, and she went back the next day, but it was already gone. So I'll keep looking, and I won't frame it till I get it right. So now I have my whips. So the last week or last time I filmed in my first Flosstube, I only had one whip, and it was Frank's Family Portrait by Glendon Place. And I've worked on it since the first Flosstube. Can I see it? And I finished Frank. I started on the moon, and I realized I better start outlining, backstitching, because there is a lot of it. So I started on Frank's face. So I'll do a little of the moon, then I'll go back to backstitching till I get it done. I'll show you what the completed project looks like. There it is. I really love this. It's stitched on Meyer, Cashel linen, Meyer. I don't know who makes it. Oh, Picture This Plus. It's hand dyed by Picture This Plus. Okay, now I have some more projects. You haven't seen these. I just started these, and these are my favorite. You might not know this today, but Jacks are wild. And so I started working on this. This one is by Waxing Moon Design. And here it is. I've gotten 2 of the pumpkins completed. I just love this. It cracks me up every time I see it. I think about Jack and it makes me laugh. The fabric is a 28 count even weave, and I belong to Cindy Searle, or now I don't have her last name right. Her seasonal party. She's from Express on Facebook, and this came with 4 pieces to the fabric, and this was one of them. All the crazy pumpkins. And then I started another Jack one. This is Jolly Jack. This is another itty bitty pattern by All Through the Night. Jolly Jack. And I also used a piece of that same fabric. This was the Harlequin. I think I meant to do this in the other direction, but oh well, it's all coming out good. This is a really fun stitch. It goes quickly. I love the leaves. The leaves are a Gentle Art, and they are called Tobacco Road. So it's very colorful. It has the green and the brown, and it just really looks like fall leaves. It's crow season around here, and my husband and his friends go crow hunting. Really, they go crow shooting. They don't really shoot anything, but they have a really good time missing them and using their little thing to call, call. You hear them out on the porch doing that. So this is a Quaker Crow. It's by The Work Basket. It's my first Quaker project. I haven't gotten much completed, but it's really fun. This one's on Weeks Dye Works, on straw. Can you see it? I barely did any, but I really liked what I've done. So I hope to get more of this done this week. And the thread that I'm using is a belle soie, and it's called charcoal. Okay, I have a few projects, few plans for the future that I want to start. And this one is called Pumpkin Joe. And this is a raise the roof pattern. I have, the fabric will be a week's dye work called Tiger's Eye. I have that ready and all kitted up. This one only has 2 colors, black, 310 black. I'm actually using, instead of DMC, I'm using Anchor Black. And then it has a Gentle Art sampler thread, the one called Bittersweet. So I'm looking forward to starting this one. And then the next one I want to start is a Plum Street sampler pattern. It's called Olga's Tart. This should be a quick stitch. It's on a fabric called Plum Street Blend. It's a 36 count. And I actually bought the little tins, the tart tins that it goes in. I found them online. I found them from, oh, I can't tell. But I got a whole bunch of them, so I'll be real happy to do this. Then I'm going to do Prairie Stamp Schooler. This will be my very first Prairie Schooler. Not the first one I've owned, but the first one I've actually worked on, called Acorns. And this one, it comes with the pattern. After you complete the stitching, it comes with the pattern on how to make the acorns. And if you can see in the background, the leaves all form a little wreath. It comes with a pattern to how to do the wreath out of felt wool. Okay, I have a Christmas project to do for my sister. We're part Italian and she's really proud of it. Just so am I. And this is, how do you say it? We looked up how to say this. This is a welcome in Italian. And it's been, oh, we were saying it, we were doing really well. Let me look at it. Benvenuto, we got it right. So this is Benvenuto. And I got this from Modern Folk Embroidery. His name is Jacob. I think he's located over in England and he designs his own patterns. He had gone to Italy and that inspired him doing this pattern. You have to check out his website. He has some good tutorials and some great patterns. And I just got a new pattern. I got this from Julie, the Gulf Coast Stitcher, and it's called Strawberries and Stripes. So this is done on week's dye works. It's called Linen, and this will be a quick little one to do. I know it's more summerish, but I want to, I'm going to block him out. I think he's really tired. We had gone to Longwood Gardens a couple weeks ago, my husband and Eddie and I. Jack had football practice, so he couldn't go. And we stopped at Winterthur Gardens and Winterthur House, and we went through the gardens. And we went a little bit in the house, but we didn't take the tour this time. And while there, I saw this sampler kit. It's by a sampler. It's called Token of Love Sampler. And I thought, oh, look at this cute little sampler. This will be quick and easy. Well, I wasn't thinking because this is only like 4.5 by 5.5. So this is one like 46 count linen, but it did come with the linens and the silk. So I'm going to have to start this soon. This is one of those ones I'll be sitting under the magnifier to do. I had a whole bunch of samplers and was kits. It was really nice because in the house, the samplers, the original samplers are hanging there. At Christmas time, they put out a lot more samplers. They're actually having some kind of needle art display in October, so I hope to get to that and take some pictures. So the other things that I want to do, since it is crow season, I want to stitch the Good Housewives Ida Mae crow and Ira Ray crow. And this is done on, I'm going to do it on a Belfast linen from XU Designs. XU. And this one's called Sand Dune. And I'm also going to use that same fabric to stitch this by Blackbird Design. It's called Autumn Bouquet. I really like this. And so I didn't have any fabric big enough to do this. And when I did a search on the called for fabric, I could not find it anywhere. So I contacted XG Designs, and she is going to dye me a piece and send it to me. This is the second time I've needed fabric, and I've contacted the dyers, and they were so kind, and they were really willing to help dye for you and get things done. I have two more that I want to start, so I'm going to show you. See, I go from one to now a whole bunch. This is what Flosstube does to you. I never really understood why anybody would have more than one. This is by Carriage House Samplers. And this one is the Tropical Hat Lady. At first, when I got the pattern, yes, there she is. I didn't see her at first. I just saw the hat. So this is so different from anything I've stitched, and I really like it. And the companion piece to Tropical Hat Lady is Bees in Her Bonnet. And I love this. I think I mentioned before that my husband has some beehives, and this is perfect. I love the colors. And then I have one more that I'm going to start along with like 600-700 people that are going to do the stitch along. It'll be my first sale that starts on September 1st. And it's 'Tis the Season from the Home for the Holidays book, Blackbird Design. And I finally decided on my fabric. I've had this piece, and it's just the perfect color for me. And now the color's gone out of my head. I got this from the Stitching Post. And here, put it up there and I'll put and the colors just seem to go really well with it. And then for the red, my threads came from Victoria Motto, where she hand dyed for everyone, but I'm going to switch out the red. And the dye house had some by Gloriana Silks, so I'm going to use this red for the bird. And I think that's about it. I have a few things that I purchased along with a lot of people that found out that Kathy Barrett was retiring some patterns. I didn't even have any of her patterns. I didn't even have it on my list that I wanted some of her patterns. But then you look when you find out they're not going to be available, and you find a few that you like. This one is Stitching Girls. I really liked this a lot. I'm going to do this in the future. And then this one is Time Enough. And hey, Stephanie, I got a hand sign note too that says thank you from Kathy. So I really liked this. I loved the saying, there is time enough, but none to share. So use it wisely and with good care. Because that's the truth. Time really does fly by. And I have one more pattern that I bought. And this is by Blackbird Designs. It's called Midnight Ride. I think I got this from Jen's Stitching Niche. She's on Etsy. Then I bought a few needle holders. I really like this. It's like the lipstick, like a lipstick case. Okay, it comes in 3 colors. And when you open it up and you turn it, instead of your lipstick popping up, here come your needles. So this is always good to have because you never know when you're going to need another needle for your project. This actually came with the needles. I bought this from Needle Case Goodies. Now, my favorite thing to share with you is a new seam ripper that I bought. This one is from Tulip Pink, and it's called a surgical a surgical seam ripper. There's the name of it on the back. I bought this from Fat Quarter Shop. You can never have enough seam rippers, especially when you're a quilter. But wow, wait till you see this thing. It is definitely a surgical piece. But I use this to frog a piece, and I just slid this. This is not sharp on the bottom, so it slid right under my stitches, and I went like that, and they just ripped out, and I was able to go along and rip them all out very quickly. So this thing is going to be a lifesaver. I know you hope to never have to use it, but everybody has to frog. So if you are looking for something to help you frog, I'm free to put this in. Definitely get this, and don't lose the plastic case that it comes in. Okay, so now we're going to have a new segment, and the new segment is called Something Old, right? And who's something old? Bellagio Bear. How old is Bellagio Bear?
28 years old.
Wow, he's 28. How old are you? 8. So my mom had Bellagio Bear at her house, and Jack saw it one day, and Jack loved his stuffed animals, and this has become his favorite. My mom or my sister had picked this up when they were in Vegas, and I've performed surgery on Bellagio Bear, and I washed him last night, and Jack couldn't go to sleep until he was back in his arms. So this is Bellagio Bear. 28 years old. But here's the real reason. Here's another reason why we're going to have something old. So I went through the closet the other day looking for a set of sheets, and I came across this Afghan that I had stitched back in 1983. Right here I put the name, my daughter's name, and her birth date. And then in each of the little blocks, I stitched something. I love the birds because I have identical twin girls. It's hard to see. I did the bluebirds. And I just, back in the 80s, when you bought a pattern booklet, it had a lot of patterns, not just 1 or 2 things. You got a whole bunch of patterns. And so I went through and just picked out a few things to stitch. I know Dina, the half cross stitcher, is working on an Afghan right now. And so Dina, I hope you get to see this, or if someone can let Dina know that I have an Afghan that I had stitched. I have a second one that I made for Sarah, but I don't think I all the way finished it. And I never used this one, and the reason was it didn't seem finished to me. I didn't know what to do with the back, and I didn't want the stitches to get caught and come out, and I wasn't a sewer back then, but now I realize that I can put some fusible interface on there, and that'll help to finish it off. I'd always thought I'd put a piece of fabric, but it wouldn't stretch nice. So I think I'm just going to put fusible interface over each thing. And what are you all doing? You're all making me laugh. So this is my something old. And when I was reading the comments, Cindy, Cross Stitch Cindy, had told me to show some of my quilts, because I am a quilter. So I asked the boys if they wanted to bring along their favorite quilt, because who gets all the quilts that you make? You make them all for your grandsons. Make a baby one, you make the next one, and the next one. So we're going to show you Jack's quilt. Ta-da! This was a pattern. I hope I don't make you dizzy. Let's get my hand out of there. We're in it. This was a panel quilt, And I came home with the panel, but then I had to figure out what to do around it. Had a pattern that showed me how to do this, but I didn't like how they did across the top, so I changed that up. And I gave this to Jack for Christmas one year.
And then on the back, there is.
Oh yes, on the back, which Jack loves, is all the minions.
So we'll be right back.
Hi, we're back. It's a different day. You probably noticed we changed our clothes. Poor little Jack, he was so sick. He was wrapped up in that blanket because he had a fever. So when we stopped to show Eddie's quilt, then I took care of him and got him all settled and finally got him home. And he's much better now, and he's at football practice. So Eddie and I are here to make our video. So I guess you can see behind me is his quilt. So he's going to tell you a little bit about his favorite quilt.
So when I first got it on Christmas, she said, "Doesn't Darth Vader look so good in the camera?" And then I was like, "It's Kylo Ren." And then she's like, "Who?"
So I had only seen the very first Star Wars when it originally came out. I'm one of those. And so I had no idea. I should have known. I mean, look at this. I should have known that wasn't Darth Vader, but I didn't know. So Eddie keeps his quilt on his bed, and just like Jack keeps his mini quilt on his bed. So I want to show you a few things that I'm working on. I'm working on this quilt. It's called Meadow, and it's a Jen Kingwell design. We're taking a class, me and two of my girlfriends. One of them had seen it at the quilt shop and really liked it. I didn't really like it much, but I thought, oh, I can take the class. It's always fun to go out to lunch and everything. So I have a few blocks made. They're not sewn down, but they're ready to go. Sorry for the noise in the background. There's one. I fussy cut the little rabbit. And this next one was the very first one that I made. I fussy cut out the flowers. And so I have to have 8 made by the end of September, so I'm well on the way. My hardest part is picking colors out. My cone flower goes in one of the corners. This is just a green one. And one more. I'm working on a few other quilts, but I'll show them in the future. I have one thing to show you that I bought. I bought some fabric. It's tulip pink fabric, and this one is called, oh, I can't remember, Holiday Homies. And I just love this. We're going to make this and put it in my husband's TV room. Don't you just love those goose, the dog and the deer? It's just a perfect quilt. Then it comes with the layer cake, comes with lots of different fabrics. And then for the border, got this fabric for the border. And I bought the deer fabric for the back. So that's all I have right now for quilts. Next time we video, we are going to have another special guest. I think it'd be fun for you to meet different people that we know and interview them and get them to show the things that we've made for them. So thank you so much for watching us. And if you like us, please subscribe, and we'll see you again. Happy stitching. Bye.